Wow, how many rectangles have you seen here? I have seen one rectangle. So I have drawn here 12 red squares in this given rectangle. Mr. Bush, can you draw more for me? Yes, of course. So each rectangle is made up of 12 equal squares. Many rectangles can be drawn from these 12 squares. Let's see. Now let's see how many rectangles you can draw using these 12 squares. Wow, so many rectangles. Yeah, still you can do more rectangles in this graph. Now see which rectangle has the longest perimeter and which of them has the smallest perimeter. Do you know, Mr. Bush? Length of the boundary is actually called the perimeter. Now measure the stamps. Which stamp has the biggest area? How many squares of one side 1 centimeter does this stamp has? How much is the area the biggest stamp? And which stamp has the smallest area? How many squares of one side of 1 centimeter does the stamp cover? How much is the area of the smallest stamp? Can you give me the answers of these questions? Yes, of course. You have to learn how to find out the area of these stamps just by calculating the number of the squares here. Wow! Stamp A covers 24 squares. Each square is of side 1 centimeter. So, the area of the stamp A is 24 square centimeter. I think you can also find out the area of the stamps B, C and D. Now guess the area of these currency notes. Have you seen the currency note of 1000 rupees? Have you seen the currency note of 100? And also you have seen, I think, the currency note of 50. Can you find out the area of these notes? Now how many squares in me? Now let's come to another figure that is called, it is also a closed figure called triangle. Can you show me some of the articles having this figure? Yes, I think you know it. Now children, see this figure. There are two squares, one is green, another is red. And one of the line cuts these two squares in the middle, making the figure of triangle. Now see these triangles. Again there are two triangles in the two rectangles. Have you seen there are two rectangles? Yes, one is yellow, another is green. Now look at the blue triangle. Can you tell me? It is passing through Now, let us find out the area of the blue triangle. Yes, I have found out. The blue triangle is just the half of the big rectangle. Area of the big rectangle is 20 square centimeter. So the area of the blue triangle is? Yes, it is 10 square centimeter. Simple, isn't it? Now what about the red triangle? Yes, In it, there are two halves of two different rectangles. Now let's find the area of this red triangle. Who can do it first? Now, how to calculate the area of this red triangle? Now see, half of this red triangle is half of the yellow rectangle. Now first find out the area of the yellow rectangle. Who can tell me? Yes, the area of this yellow rectangle is 12 square unit. So, the area of the half of this triangle is 6 square unit, isn't it? Now, let's find out the area of other half of the triangle. But before that, you have to find out the area of the green rectangle. Yes, who has found out the area of the green rectangle? Yes, it is 8 square centimeter or unit. You can use here unit or centimeter. So, the area of this half triangle is 4 square centimeter. Now, what is the area of the red triangle here? Yes, it is 10 square centimeter. Now, find the area of the given figures just by calculating the number of the squares, or you can divide. Now, let's find the area of this figure. I have already colored the two rectangles. I think it's clear to you. You can find out the area of these figures. So easy, isn't it? Now another next figure is given. There are two sides of a figure are given here. You have to complete the figure so that the area of this figure must be 4 square unit. I think you know how to calculate the area of these figures just by calculating the number of the squares. I'm sure that you can do this. Who has done it? Now, can you solve the puzzle using the 5 squares only? There is a big rectangle, and this big rectangle is 12 into 5 rectangle. Means it has 5 columns with 12 rows. You will be surprised to know that there are 1000 ways to arrange the 5 squares in it. It's really amazing, isn't it? I have shown one figure here with the colorful squares. I have placed many of the squares here with different patterns. So very beautiful tiles. I think you can find these tiles at your home or any multinational complex or in shopping malls. At last, what I have learned? I have learned that the treasure of the interesting squares. Just by calculating the number of the squares, I can find out the areas of any figure, even the area of the footprints of elephant. Isn't it? I can find out the area of my palm. I can find out the area of a leaf. I can find out the area of the petal of a flower. Oh, yes, now I can. Mr. Bush, can you do now? Yes, I do. It's an interesting game today with the squares. A really amazing, wonderful lesson I have got today.